So, what is the meaning of alienation from a wider perspective? It is when a person or group of people becomes separated from something which is essential to their nature or from society. So, we know that we are already having numerous numbers of laws to protect and safeguard our identity and our interest, like the Meghalaya Transfer of Land Regulation Act 1972, the Benavi Transaction Act 1980, the Trading by Non-Tribal Regulation Act. We have the Dorbar Shnong, we have the Dorbar Hima, the District Council, and the state government. But why are we still afraid for our future? And that the sense of insecurity still dictates our minds. So, according to my understanding, and this is actually, in fact, a crux of the problem, it is all because of corruption. Therefore, the more we try to ignore corruption, the more the danger for the state. The Chief Minister, while responding to the issue of Lokayukta being raised by our honorable member from North Shillong, Adalbert Nongrum, had mentioned that the Lokayukta is fully functioned. So the question here is whether it is allowed to function independently without the interference of the state government, whether its autonomy is being compromised or not. From what was happening recently, it was seen so that the autonomy of the Lokayukta was being compromised. The chairman of the Lokayukta had to remove 3 officials under the recommendation of the state government. The state government claimed that the appointments of these 3 officials were illegal. So it is laughable that it took more than a year for the government to unearth its own mistakes. Moreover, the Chief Minister said that the appointment of serving officials would save the expenses of the government. Oh, what an irony. The same person who is so concerned about saving the state's exchequer when the government appointed the 3 officials in the Lokayukta is the same person who defended the appointment of 175 political appointees. Therefore, sir, the removal of those 3 officials was nothing but a punishment for carrying out their job honestly. It was also a clear message to others that this is going to happen if you should carry your jobs honestly.
Please stick to the subject matter. Please.
Yeah, sir, I'm coming to the crux of the problem, sir. I've already explained. When we talk about corruption, sir, we need to know that the meaning of corruption does not confine to monetary terms only, but has a wider connotation. It also means any action which does not conform to the rules, procedures, and practices is also an act of corruption. Misusing and abusing of power is also an act of corruption. So, I don't want to say this, but I was left with no option. So, without any iota of doubt and with conviction, I can say that I've never come across this leadership such as this, which is so vindictive and corrupt. So it has been a normal practice that the Block Development Monitoring Council, BDMC, in the block level, is to be reconstituted every 5 years. And the names of these members used to be recommended by the incumbent MLA. These committees, as we all know, is a direct link between the blocks and the local representatives. So, however, till today, the government has not approved the recommendations made by the incumbent MLAs in many of the constituencies belonging to the opposition, and instead allow the committees to function comprising of members recommended by the previous MLAs. So I feel this is not fair. I feel this is not fair because we are elected, duly elected by the people. You may not like me, you may dislike me, but you cannot insult the people who have voted us as MLA. So, had it been a personal matter, I would have remained silent. But I will not allow no one to insult the people who have elected us to power. So, the purchase of land by the government to create land banks is also another concern of alienation of land if no measures are adopted to protect the interests of the local people. So, in fact, when we look at the leadership, we always look at them as a fatherly figure who would embrace everyone. Despite our differences, we may have issues, we may have differences in the house. We are here to work together. It doesn't mean that just because we raise issues that we will take it personal. So, sir, on behalf of my people and all those concerned, I would strongly demand from the government to approve the list that we have recommended to the government, failing which I'll be left with no option but to stage a protest to expose the vindictiveness of the government.